seen some people online wanting a remake of Super Mario 64, but what some people don't seem to remember, heck, even I forgot this existed. We already have a remake of Super Mario 64 called Super Mario 64 DS, which was a launch title for the Nintendo DS, which is the second best-selling game console of all time, first being the PS2. And well, the game really needs no introduction. Is it better than the N64 version or nah? Well, let's find out. Oh, and I will be looking at the Wii U version. The Virtual Console release, that is. The story is the same as the first game, only Luigi, Wario, and Yoshi have tagged along. The party rescues the princess, Mario gets special attention, moving on. Okay, so let's start with the obvious 4 characters you get to play as. You start the game as Yoshi, in which he has the highest jump, but plays a little differently than the other 3 characters. He uses his tongue instead of punching. He can turn his enemies into eggs and throw said eggs as well. So once I got Mario unlocked, I rarely use him as I mainly just stomp on enemies. He may have the highest jump because he has a flutter jump, but Luigi, more on him in just a second, also has a jump that's about as good, I would say. Mario plays a lot like he did in the N64 version, only his wall jump is a little bit better because he actually slides down the wall, giving you more time to jump off of it rather than just bumping against the wall when your timing is not precise. His wing cap, I would say, is a bit better in this game as he manages to stay more leveled, whereas in the N64 version he goes all over the place. I also like drawing him hairless on the startup screen. However, my favorite character to play as is Luigi. So many rumors have gone around about Luigi being in Mario 64 for years, but now he is officially in the game. He is pretty much what I enjoyed about Mario, only he has a higher jump, which makes me wish he was actually playable in the N64 version. As for Wario, he's a bit of a situational character for me, unfortunately. He has the most strength, but is the worst character otherwise in my opinion. I've really only used him for breaking piles of black bricks. In fact, all of these characters have unique stats. Yoshi may not punch, but he has the best jump because his flutter kick gives him more height, but everything else is, I would say, well balanced about him. Mario is an all-around balanced character. Luigi has the least amount of strength, but he's the best character because of his high jump in my opinion. Wario has the best strength. I mainly played as Luigi, mostly because to me the game did not seem like it was repurposed all that much with stats in mind. I can kill enemies the same way I did in the N64 version by just jumping on them or sliding into them. I definitely benefited from Luigi's high jump, but have very little use for Wario's extra attack power. Sorry, Wario. Also, the 3 caps from the original game are now just 1 block with a flower coming out, and what power up you get depends on what character you are using. Yoshi breathes fire, which I've only used once for this review. Mario gets the wing cap, and he can also turn into a balloon to float up to higher places. Luigi gets the vanish cap, and Wario gets the metal cap, which is the only other reason I would use Wario. All the levels from the original game are back, plus some new ones. The new levels consist of paintings that has the character portraits, and again, you jump into them to get into the level. Mario has this level with the poison, Luigi's level is an extension of Big Boo's haunt, and Wario is an icy slide. A couple of things I forgot to mention in the N64 version was the Cheep eating Mario and the giant eel scared me when I was little, though a lot of people point out that the piano in Big Boo's haunt is what scared them, although I could not remember my reaction to it. I forgot to mention that and the bosses. Basically, there are 3 Bowser fights with slight variations, but you grab him by the tail, spin him around, and throw him at a bomb. Wait, there were more boss fights? Oh yeah, the original N64 game, with the exception of IROC, were normal enemies that were enlarged, and you hit them about 3 times and they're done. That's really all there is to say about the bosses, although the DS version adds a few new ones that are pretty good. Goombas. You would play as Yoshi and you would swallow up Goombas and spit them back at Goombas. King Boo is pretty similar to the Big Boo boss, only you would have to use the mirror or his shadow to pinpoint where he is and attack him from behind. Chief Chili is just like the bullies. You jump or punch them out of the ring, only he changes directions rather than just going a straight line until he hits something, and he makes the arena smaller each time he is knocked out. Definitely a step up from what the N64 version had in terms of boss fights. There are 150 stars to collect, in which the original game had 120. I did do the main scenario of this version, but I decided not to do a completionist run. I did not feel like collecting 100 coins for stars again. I got 150 stars 10 years ago, so I'm good. The new stars, for the most part, consist of silver stars and a button that you press in order to race to the star before the timer runs out. Also, bunnies pop up all over the castle, in which in the original game, you would catch a bunny for a star. The bunnies in this game give you keys to unlock mini-games. I do enjoy some of these mini-games. I liked Wanted, a lot of Wario's mini-games, and I do like Luigi's mini-games, although I am not a gambling type of guy. The mini-games are new to the DS version, and while they do not add much to the game, I still enjoy these mini-games nonetheless. There is also a button that centers the camera behind the character, which is nice, although the controls to adjusting the camera are on the bottom of the touchscreen, and well, my thumb is all the way up here. Again, I played the Wii U Virtual Console release for this review. I would say all of this extra content is nice, but I prefer the N64 version for one reason, and I know a lot of people point this out. The N64 version has analog control. The DS version has digital control, in which you would use a D-pad to move and hold down a run button to run. I've been playing Mario since I was little, and I need the precision of analog movement. The digital movement in the DS version feels just a little bit like I am controlling a tank at points, and not only that, but I also liked sliding in the original N64 game, and holding the run button and trying to push the attack button at the same time is a bit awkward to me. And no, I did not use the touchscreen for movement because I don't play mobile games much because I like the physical feedback of a controller. This game may look a little pixelated and jagged, but when I played this on the DS back in the day when it came out, it looked great. Sure, it looks rough playing on a TV on the Wii U, but still, Bowser looks better and Mario's up-to-date character model is pretty nice, although the game is not as colorful in some areas, I would say. If you would like to know my full opinion on Super Mario 64, I did a review on it, so I would encourage you to check that out. I only talked about what was new to the DS version and other things in addition to the review of the N64 game. Again, I do prefer the N64 version because of analog movement. Sure, I did play the Wii U Virtual Console version with the gamepad and the analog stick, but it still was digital movement, and it felt like digital movement still. I am going to give this version an 8 out of 10. I've played the original N64 game time and time again, but this was the first time in a little over 10 years that I have played the DS version. The extra content is nice. I did enjoy playing as Luigi, and I would say the DS version is better because of it, but again, analog movement is the reason why I go back to the N64 version over this one. With that being said, thank you all for watching and have a blessed day.